Pakistani forces have launched what they call a full-scale operation in a race against time to rescue passengers held hostage in a train hijack in the country's southwest. Fears rising further after authorities say suicide bombers are amongst militants on board that train. A footage of the attack was released by the media wing of the Balochistan Liberation Army, which has taken responsibility for this attack. The group has set a 48-hour deadline for demands to be met. They include the release of Baloch political prisoners and activists that they believe have been abducted by the military. The group has threatened to execute remaining hostages if their demands are not met. Authorities say 30 militants were killed in a gunfight between insurgents and Pakistani security forces. Security sources say 190 people have been freed so far, and they are not clear how many more are still being held. Some 450 passengers are estimated to have been on board the train at the time of the hijack.
बस ये फायरिंग हो गया सर अल्लाह ने हिफाजत किया फौजी लोगों का हिम्मत है फिर भी यूएफसी वालों का हमको इधर तक ले आए हम लोग सोए हुए थे जब वो तंग आ गए बोले भाई बोगी खाली करें हम लोग जगाते हैं हम लोग निकल गए अपना बच्चों को बोला भाई जिनको मरना है भाई निकलो इधर भी मरना है उधर भी मरना है फिर हम लोग निकल गए.
The Jaffar Express train was travelling from Quetta, that's the provincial capital of Balochistan, heading northwest when it was attacked in southwest Balochistan province, which borders Iran and Afghanistan. And for more, Hira Mustafa joins us live from Islamabad. Hira, we mentioned there suicide bombers, not just amongst militants, but fairly close to passengers on board the train that was hijacked, making any rescue operation potentially very complicated.
Well, yes, the situation is very complicated given the fact that the hostages include women and children. What we are hearing from the officials is that the militants are using women and children as a human shield, which adds an extra layer of complexity to the ongoing major rescue operation. Also, there are reports that suicide bombers are also present on the hijacked train, given the fact that the military operation is underway at the moment, but security officials are telling that they are exercising extra caution as the militant group BLA, Balochistan Liberation Army, has threatened the authorities that if they are not going to stop the ongoing rescue operation, they will execute the hostages that are currently present on that hijacked train in the southwestern province of the country. The country's leadership is very clear, and they have a very strong stance on this, that no matter whatever are the circumstances, the major rescue operation will continue. There are no negotiations with the banned militant group, and they have ruled out the possibility in the future also that they will have any dialogue with the militant group and fulfill their demands. Their demands include the release of political prisoners from the Baloch militant group and the activists that are in the custody of the authorities. This is not the first time that the Baloch militant group has targeted civilians or the security forces. We have seen such activities happened in the past also. What we are hearing from the officials is also that the security officials are telling us that the operation is complex by the situation, that the train is stuck in a dark tunnel which is surrounded by a mountainous terrain which has no access to roads. This is what we are hearing from the officials.
Hira, as you say, far from the first incident that has targeted civilians. In fact, authorities have had to manage insurgency in that region for decades now. But in terms of clashes and deadly clashes, these have gone up certainly in the last year, particularly targeting what this Balochistan Liberation Army sees as groups outside not just of Pakistan itself, but of that particular province. How has the government dealt with insurgent attacks like these in the last few months, in the last few years?
Well, as you already mentioned, that this is not the first time that the Balochistan Liberation Army banned militant group has targeted the security forces or the civilians. Or we have seen that in the past few months, they have intensified their militant activities in the southwestern province of the country. And for a decade now, insurgency has been running in the southwestern province of the country. What we do know and what we are hearing from the officials and the government is that they have set up a national security committee to take care of the security matters, given the fact that security on the western provinces, on the western borders, on the western borders of the country is deteriorating. So they have set up this special security task force to take care of these matters. Also, in the past, we have seen that the government or the security officials are conducting intelligence-based operations to tackle these militant groups, which they allege are operating from the Afghanistan. A charge, something which Kabul denies.
Thanks, Hira Mustafa reporting live there from Islamabad.